Hey, just to let you know, I'm putting an honorary third pick in tonight, Hazel.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Neil Peart, man, that's a big loss today. 67, he died. So,
Oh yeah, man.
yeah, I'm definitely adding a song in by the band tonight that showcases his ability. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, definitely doing
It,
that tonight.
it's craziness, man.
So Fluffy, don't get mad at me. I'm adding a third song. The playlist police is coming in.
That's funny.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 24 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe and discuss other things in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, the Gatr, and my co-host Hazel is here as well. How you been, Hazel? I heard it's been a pretty tough week, brother.
Yeah, it's had some highs, some pretty big highs, and pretty low lows. But it is what it is. Life goes on. Not much you can do. But what about you, man?
Yeah, it's we had a little bit of a cold spell. Now we're back up into I think it was 79 today. I was actually breaking a sweat. I couldn't believe it, dude. Could not believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and then you got all the storms going down through the south right now and everything.
Yeah, I've heard down in Texas and stuff. I don't think it's going to hit us. I think it's going to go over the panhandle. So I think we're going to steer clear. Hey, everybody stay safe down in Texas and Alabama along the Gulf Coast there. Be careful.
Yep.
It looks pretty nasty from what I heard. So, well, good deal, man. Good deal. Well, we're all excited to introduce our guest of the show tonight. He's a gamer I know very well because he's my son, DrScoobertDoo. I'm just going to call him Cam because that's going to be weird. How you doing, bud?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. Alrighty. So just an overview of tonight's show. We're going to hear more about my son, Cam. We're going to test his twitch reflexes with our new and improved fast fire session we call the speed run. Next, we're going to catch up on the last week in entertainment and gaming, as usual. Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for this week. Then our main discussion tonight is going to be looking at Destiny from a new player's perspective and see possibly what other new players might be thinking about Destiny. Finally, we'll answer our Twitter and Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. Let's go. All right, Cam, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? You know, what your situation is right now, where you live, all that kind of stuff.
So I go to college up in Bemidji, Minnesota, which is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. It's closer to Canada than it is the Twin Cities, so it's freezing cold up here. It's like a big perspective shift for me coming from Florida. I'm going there for computer information systems, and I'm in my last semester right now,
Oh,
or
nice.
about to be on Monday.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty done with school at this point.
Yeah, he's got like weight. What do you have, like weightlifting, and he's taking like the flower classes now because he only has one class to take.
I'm taking yoga, weightlifting, and then like advanced web programming, some data structures class, and then strategic management.
Oh, okay.
So I have like a few real classes. The exercise ones are early in the morning, which is the bad part.
Yeah, he's like his dad. He's not a morning person.
So when I'm not at school, I'm at home with my girlfriend and our 2 dogs and our rabbit. Her name's Sarone. We've been dating for about 3 years now almost. And our dogs' name are Opal and Pippa. and then our rabbit is Wobbles.
Those are awesome names.
Yeah, Wobbles had a mess up foot when he was born, and so that's kind of how he got his name. He's pretty much he's not very gimpy anymore though. He's pretty normal. It's just massive for a rabbit.
Nice.
So when I'm not at work or school or at home, I'm usually at the gym. I train MMA, so jujitsu, wrestling, boxing. We do like Muay Thai. We hit the pads. We hit each other, stuff like that. That's been what I've really been focused and obsessed with for the last few years. I had a fight 7 or 8 months ago where I snapped my leg in half during a during a hip toss, and so I've been recovering since then, but pretty much back to it.
Nice.
It's been like 6 weeks since the last surgery.
You got a titanium rod, right? In your leg, right?
Yeah, I have a titanium rod through the tibia. But my tibia and fibula are pretty healed up right now. I'm just starting to kick with it again. I'm just about to start doing jujitsu and rolling on it again. Yeah, that's been a pretty tough journey, but it's been really satisfying to see the improvement over time.
Very cool. So, are you looking to get back into MMA in the future? Like,
in terms of like fighting or competing?
Yeah. Does that? I mean, does the broken leg like disqualify you pretty much? Like,
I don't think so. Like, I think they'll let me do it again if I wanted to. I may do one more just because I didn't exactly get the full experience.
yeah.
It's kind of a freak accident too. It's a really rare injury in MMA in general. So I would probably want to do another fight at some point, but I'm definitely not in any rush. And I have jujitsu competitions that I've really been looking forward to getting back into. So I'll probably stick with jujitsu for a little bit. I would probably get back in there one more time.
That's cool. Well, let me ask you an important question then. Were you winning when you did the hip toss before that?
So I got hip tossed. It was a weird kind of fight. So I was scheduled against someone else originally at 135 pounds. Like I'm a pretty small guy, but he eventually pulled out of the fight. He fought on a different card at a different event, and so I went up a weight class and fought a guy. His name's Calvin. He was a natural 145er, so he was pretty big. He was cutting weight down to 145, and I showed up on weight pretty much, not cutting anything. And he had a wrestling background as well, so it was gonna be a pretty tough fight for me. But in the first round, which it only lasted like 2.5 minutes before I snapped my leg, he definitely came at me with a ton of punches. But he maybe hit me twice or 3 times. I just moved my head. Didn't really fire anything back, except when I tried to get me against the fence, where I would shoot knees right into his midsection. I had some kicks here and there, maybe landed a jab or two, but that first round was really about letting him kind of slow himself down because I have pretty solid cardio. I can go for a pretty long time at this point, and so it's kind of just letting him tire himself out a little bit. But obviously, I didn't get to reap the rewards from that. So
That's cool, though. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Was that UFC or was that anything big or was it like
No, it was a really small local competition or a local promoter. It's called North Star Combat up here. It's in a casino when I fought. It was a pretty cool experience overall. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, imagine me. I was watching it live on Facebook when it happened. I didn't see the accident because the corner pylon was blocking what happened. And I decided, I'm sure there's videos out there showing what happened. It was pretty bad break, pretty nasty.
Yeah, there's some other angles.
Yeah, and I just chose not to watch it. You don't want to see your kids ever get hurt, you know?
Yeah.
So even though I'm not a fan, I mean, I love MMA, but I'm not a fan of my son in the MMA, you know, hitting and stuff. But I realize this is a journey he wants to take. And, you know, if he wants to do one more fight to get the experience, then I think he should, you know, make sure he's matched up well this time. I mean, you should have seen the guy he was fighting. He was pretty built. He looked like he had been down a couple bad neighborhoods, pretty tatted up too. So
he's a good guy.
Yeah, I know you guys are friends now, right?
We've talked a few times.
Yeah.
It would have been a good fight if it could have gone down the distance, but compared to back then, I've really improved.
That's good.
Even though I haven't been able to do much stuff on the ground since then.
In fact, you just got back from the gym, I think you said.
Yeah, today was the first day I tried doing some grappling again, so it was really fun.
Well, good deal. And I think I don't know if you mentioned, but you do you work for the university, don't you? On your to make a little extra money.
Yeah, for the last 4 years, I've worked at Bemidji State University, and I'm at the tech support help desk. It's a pretty nice job. Everyone's pretty relaxed with me. I know all the kind of like go-to responses, most common issues, what to do if something's not working. Just over time, pretty much.
I know this is the doting father coming out of me, but Cam's always been one that likes to fix problems. And he was putting Bionicles together. I don't know if you know those Lego Bionicles, little robots you put together. I think he was like 2.5, 3 years old when he put those together. And we try to say, hey, lay out the directions so you know what to do. He never would look at the directions. He would just put them together. He would just figure it out. So that's kind of always the way he's been. He always likes solving problems. I think he likes to be challenged. I think that's maybe why he's in this field.
I'd say that's definitely the case. Originally, I was going to go into engineering, which is pretty much all problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's one of the reasons why I'm drawn to mixed martial arts so much is
strategy.
There's a ton of strategy that goes into it. And of course, you have to execute it as well. But there's like specific counters for specific looks, specific responses when like someone's pushing forward on you or if they're backing up. You have so many questions that you get to ask, and you kind of build off those answers and you find out what works and what doesn't. Yeah, it's a really fun thing to get into and kind of develop your skill set.
Well, let's switch gears then. So we're talking about strategy. Let's talk about your gaming history. Where did it all begin? Where did you get started? What was your first games, your first console?
So
go back, what, 12, 15 years?
probably like 18 or 19.
Okay.
We're pretty young when we started playing games together, right?
Yeah, we were.
So when I was a kid, my dad would play games on like the PlayStation 1. So like Medieval or Metal Gear Solid. Games along those. Definitely not what you'd expect from a guy that's put in like 3,000 hours to Destiny. He played like the popular games at the time, like third person action games, stuff like that. So maybe since I was like 4 or 5, since then, I always just watched my dad play games. We moved to the PlayStation 2 once it came out, played a ton of Dynasty Warriors together.
We were on vacation.
Magic.
We were on a vacation in the camping in the mountains in Cherokee, North Carolina. I think we spent like half the day playing Dynasty Tactics. Remember that game? That
Yeah, we were in our camper.
Yeah, it was pretty. And oh boy, Mom was pissed. She was like, "I cannot believe we're sitting here in the mountains and you want to play, a Dynasty Tactics game." And we had a lot of fun playing that game.
So as I got older, I got a little bit more interested in what my friends were playing, or whenever I'd go over to their house, what they were able to play. Because I wasn't able to play M games until I was maybe 13 or 14, and even then it took some convincing for my mom. Like I had the Xbox 360, and so one of the biggest games of all time on that platform was Halo 3, and that was rated M. So I kind of finagled my way into that. I told my mom you could turn the blood off and uh, stuff like that to just so I could play the game. And it was anyone that's played Halo 3 back in its golden age knows how just fun and satisfying the movement was. Something that got adapted into Destiny. But it was just a fantastic game. You could one of the best things was that you could play with friends as well, which I think definitely kind of directed the kinds of games that I played in the future as well.
Very cool. All right. So you mentioned Destiny. So what brought you around to that besides peer pressure from your dad?
It's pretty much just peer pressure from my dad.
Hey, come on.
After like 1,800 hours of Destiny 1, I was like, oh, my dad's certainly playing a lot of this. I should probably give it a try because he definitely wanted me to for a while.
Well, you got me into first-person shooters originally. I was like you said, I was playing medieval and third-person action games. And tell them about when you got me into my first-person shooter game.
So, like I said, I wasn't allowed to play M-rated games, and so I think when I was 12 or 13, I convinced my mom that my dad wanted Call of Duty 4 for Christmas.
I didn't know that
and
part.
So, because she always asked me what he wanted, and I figured he'd want to play it because it looked good. It was a pretty like visually impressive game for the time, I'd say. And so that's something my dad was always obsessed with, was how the game looks. But I snuck into his office while he was at work one day and started playing it. And of course, like the first like 15 minutes of Call of Duty 4, you're going through some Middle Eastern town and they're like lining people up against the wall and like shooting them in the head. And like you have dogs barking at you and it's just chaos. And I think my mom probably came into the office around then, and it's like, "What are you playing? Like, what are you doing right now?" And so I got in trouble from that, but it kind of led to my dad becoming a little bit more interested in the game, whereas it was sitting on the shelf for the last maybe like month since he'd gotten it. And so I eventually got him to play the campaign, and he enjoyed it. And once he got into the multiplayer, I think some switch flipped. And since then, it's been hard to get him to play anything except first-person shooters.
Yeah, that's true. I'm very stubborn when it comes to that.
And by first-person shooters, you mean Destiny, right?
Pretty much only Destiny. I mean, I'm sure he'll give like a Call of Duty game a try every now and then. But
you'd be right.
Yep, Battlefield.
Battlefield. But
I think I have 5,000
think those are
hours.
just fads.
I think I have 5,000 hours in Battlefield. I wouldn't call that a fad.
Yeah, I'd say that was definitely he's transitioned from Call of Duty to Battlefield and sunk a ton of time into it. He just finds a game and gets obsessed with it.
Yeah, that's true.
And he refuses to play anything else. Like you try to give him like the Fallout games or something. He's like, yeah, this is okay, but after like an hour, he's like, all right, I'm done for the night, and then he'll never play it again. Stuff like that.
That's funny. I've picked up on that since we started doing this.
The information's spilling out tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a
And
show
I'm the one
about
drinking.
This is a show about my son. So,
Did you ask me about Destiny before that, Hazel?
Yeah.
So,
and we'll talk about what you like about Destiny, what you don't like, or what you wish it had, or something. We'll talk about that later. But he was asking you what, other than peer pressure from me, what got you into Destiny?
so I'd say the things that got me into Destiny, beside the peer pressure from my dad, and I've probably played more Destiny 1. Well, I don't know. I've played a lot more Destiny 1 than Destiny 2 at a certain point, but probably recently I've probably surpassed those Destiny 1 hours. I'd say it being made by Bungie was a big thing for me, because I know how great Halo 3 was, and that was a instrumental game in like the development of what games I appreciated and came to like and to play.
Hmm.
And so that was definitely a bonus. But I definitely think it was just my dad saying, "Cam, you got to try Destiny. I'll buy it for you. I'll put it on a PlayStation 3 so you can play it with me." He definitely enabled me to play with him, and so that alone got me into playing it.
Nice. All right. So you have an interesting gamer tag. What's up with that?
I'm kind of in between gamer tags right now. So I'd say my first one from like playing RuneScape and like Club Penguin, like way back in the day, it was Camjack111, and eventually that changed to, I think it's like Death Piggy or something. It wasn't very good. Eventually that changed to
I like that name.
Slum or Scumdog Millionaire.
That's awesome.
I had that one for quite a while, and then I shortened it to Scumdog, and then I think from there I went to DrScoobertDoo. I have some other gamer tags like Dinkulator, stuff like that, but I'd probably update DrScoobertDoo to Cam the Jellyman. I'd say that's probably my current alias that I'd want to be known by.
Okay.
But DrScoobertDoo, there's just something about Scooby Doo with my friends and I. Like we just I would try to do like the Shaggy voice a bunch, and then one of my friends would try to do a Scooby voice. It was awful.
Can you do a Shaggy voice? Let's hear it.
I don't know if I can right now.
Okay. I won't put you on.
Zoink, Scoob, let's get out of here. That's probably terrible.
That's
It's
pretty
probably
damn good.
terrible.
That's not bad. Not bad.
Ruh-roh. That's pretty damn good though.
Don't look at me. I'm not doing one.
No,
I'm a little stuffed up, so it definitely wasn't what it could have been.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
But we just got into Scooby Doo, and I was just trying to find some name, and I just brain farted out DrScoobertDoo, and I just went with that, I guess.
Nice.
It's an all right name. I have a okay avatar to go along with it, but the big issue with Cam the Jellyman is it's tough to find a good avatar for that, or at least one that I'm satisfied with. So
Put more work into it than I do. We ask a lot of people. We ask a lot of people on this show, how did you get your gamer tag? I'm like, well, it's my name. We get that. We get a lot of that.
Yeah. My first one though was little known fact here for everybody was Mother Nature took my afro.
That's awesome. I love that one.
Yep.
That's cool. When you game, you play mainly on PC now, right, Kim?
pretty much. It's I just do everything on my computer.
Yeah.
And so I bought my first computer from working with my dad all summer. I think in like 9th or 10th grade, maybe in between one of those. And since then, I'd say I've definitely focused my play on PC.
Yeah, you play a lot on Steam, I think.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with PlayStation 4, and I play UFC 3 on there every now and then. I'd say the big thing is that it's just in a different room, and so it's a little annoying to navigate to and stay down there, especially when our first floor is freezing cold most of the time. So I usually stay upstairs, comforted by the heat and glow of my monitors.
Hmm. And do you play mainly solo or do you play with friends?
I'd say I usually play with friends. There are a few games, of course, that are only single player. And so, like some roguelikes, I definitely enjoy roguelikes, or roguelites. And almost always those are single player. There's a few that are multiplayer, but I usually would try to play with friends.
So, for our community members that don't know much about you, what games do you like to play? That kind of thing.
So what I've been playing recently, Rocket League with some friends. Uh,
Okay.
Play League of Legends every now and then. I used to play a ton of Dota 2, but eventually most of my friends switched to League of Legends, and so we just kind of stuck with it. I like to play roguelikes quite a bit. So a roguelike is uh, it's like a hard. Generally, they're a difficult game that has a lot of procedural generation or randomization between the runs, and so every run feels a bit different.
Hmm.
Uh, you usually
What are
get
some of those, by chance?
so I'd say some of the more popular ones would be Enter the Gungeon, Binding of Isaac, Faster Than Light is a fantastic one. That one's called FTO.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
there's quite a few. It's definitely become one of the more popular genres, I'd say. I think it's because of the replayability factor, and some of these are almost all of them have a solid system of progression, whether it's unlocking new items or new characters, and so I think that replayability is probably their strongest trait.
Well, let me ask
Hmm.
you this. We ask this of a lot of our guests. Was there a moment in gaming in your past that you remember that had maybe had an impact on you? Maybe a really good gaming memory from your past?
There are a few of them.
Just one of them. Saw the blue.
I'd say playing RuneScape with my friends back when I was a kid, and trying to do chores around the house just so I could be a member on there and access all the content. And I did the same thing with World of Warcraft as well. Just wanting to play them and wanting to play with friends really, really kind of lit a fire under my butt to get some stuff done so I could actually play with my friends.
Yeah, I taught him a long time ago. If he wants something, he works for it.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
It's always been my motto around the house. Anything else? You see anything else there, Hazel?
Well, I guess you've kind of mentioned it before, but what's the last game you played besides Destiny?
So the last one that I've been sinking a lot of my time into
Yeah.
is Path of Exile. It's like an action RPG. Really deep talent tree system. Like thousands of options, pretty much. It's kind of like Diablo, where it's loot based. It's a pretty solid game. It's definitely a great time sink.
Hmm. All right. I know we're going to talk about that more in a
Yeah.
little bit.
We'll
but yeah.
we'll brush on it later. Well, hey, let's move on. Thanks, Cam. I appreciate you sharing what's going on in your life and stuff, and not dissing me too much.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah.
Just wait until the questions. No.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
You'll get roasted, Pops.
I'm sure
You'll
I
get
am.
roasted.
I'm sure I'm gonna. I brought this on myself. I should know better. But all right, hey, let's move on.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
Okay, so this segment is called the Speed Run, where we have a database of over 125 randomly asked questions And Cam, you're going to have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions were answered by each of our guests every week in each episode. Questions are randomly asked, so no one can memorize the order. And you'll have to answer quickly, whatever comes to mind. At the end of the year, the guest with the most questions answered will win a nice prize. Tonight, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from our list. Hazel is our timekeeper and quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. So, you ready, Cam?
Yep, give it to me.
Nice.
All right, here we go. You ready? You all set, Hazel?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
What would be your ideal career or job?
Selling computer fixes.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Candy bars or chocolate bars?
Candy bars. Tupac
or Biggie?
Tupac.
What's your motto?
Be adventurous. Try new things.
Cars or trucks?
Cars.
Name your superpower.
Really flexible.
Describe yourself in one word.
A little quiet, a little strange.
Okay. What is your beverage of choice?
Water or Zevia?
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
What is your
All right,
favorite?
time.
Oh, all right. That was pretty good. Not bad. This is the new and improved one, Cam. These aren't really easy. I mean, some of them can get really deep. So, and it's all random. So, just depends on what happens. What gets pulled up.
Kind of stumped you a little bit there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that definitely froze up on a couple.
You won't be the first and you won't be the last. Trust me. Trust me.
And that is the truth.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, Hazel. What do we got?
10.
10 questions. All right. We'll mark it down.
Yep.
What's the record?
Lana did last week 17.
Okay.
But
So that's pretty bad.
I think she had easier questions. It's just the way the questions come out, I mean, what's your motto? That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's one that I would be like, fuck, I don't know.
Well, it's all right. It's no big
Actually,
deal.
that would be my motto, fuck. Because it's versatile.
Yeah, well, as more people hear the questions, hopefully they'll prepare for them when they come on the show. So, well,
Yep.
Good deal. Well, thanks, Cam. I appreciate you being a good sport about that. I just wanted to mention that we're going to keep our little channel in our Discord named Speedrun Question Ideas. So if you have a question idea that comes to mind, you're out and about and like, oh, that'd be a good speedrun question, throw it in there and we'll be sure to pin it for next year's questions. So, good deal. All right, let's move on. Well, hey, let's find out what we've been all watching this week in the world of entertainment out there. Cam, I'm going to start with you. What have you been watching this week, man?
So the last thing I watched was I watched The Witcher on Netflix with Cerrone.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it? Wasn't that good?
It's pretty solid.
Don't spoil. Okay, just
Yeah,
warning
I
you.
won't.
Okay.
At the beginning, like the first episode or two, I thought it was a little bit weak.
Yeah, it was slow. I thought it was slow too.
But they build off each episode really well, and I think by the end they wrapped up that season really nicely. It was a great introduction to the characters.
I didn't read the books or play the game, and I thought by episode 3 I was in. I was all the way in. I couldn't wait. Every night I would usually watch an episode, and I couldn't wait every night after gaming to jump in and watch it. So yeah. Anything else?
I'm planning on watching The Watchmen on HBO.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that is super good.
I watched the first episode when it aired, and then I decided I probably would enjoy it a bit more if I could just binge it all at once the season was over.
Yeah, good idea.
And so planning on doing that in the next few days before school starts back up.
It'll blow your mind. The ending just blew me away.
Yeah, I finished it in about 3 days.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife did not really appreciate that too much. But,
Well, you had The
yeah.
Witcher. The Witcher was coming up. You didn't have time, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Now I haven't even checked out The Witcher. So, I mean, I watched like the first 1 or 2 episodes of it and then fell asleep when autoplay kicked on. And I woke up and there was like some weirdness going on. And I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I have to go back and figure out where the hell I was at.
Well, what about you, Hazel, since you're talking about it?
Well, so for me, I've been knee deep in that show, Reprisal.
Reprisal.
Yeah, I can't stop myself from watching this. This show is everything that I love about TV. It's a little bit trashy, it's a little bit violent or a lot violent, it's a little bit profane, all that good stuff. It's the one about this woman, she gets drugged through a cornfield kind of thing and left for dead by her brother of all people. And pretty much she is still there and she comes back to life and wants revenge.
Harsh.
So, yeah, it's a harsh world and it's like set. I mean, I talked about it before, but it's like set in like the 1950s. It seems like it's got that kind of like Fonzie kind of feel to it. So yeah, it's got that 1950s feel to it, but it's set like current day. And the thing I really like about it dawned on me is that pretty much like I like neon, I guess, because everything in it is like neon. There's like this outline of like a stripper in neon, and it's just bowling alleys would have like that old 50s feel with the neon and everything else. And it's just, I just love that era. So
Cool.
I was watching that. I also watched Deputy, a new show that came out. Like I think episode 2 just dropped recently. It's on Fox.
Okay.
With Steven Dorff, the guy who played Deacon
Yeah.
Frost from Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah, exactly. If you're actually looking for a movie, you should check out SFW. It's an old movie, I think, with Reese Witherspoon, I believe, and him, where basically they get taken hostage in a convenience store. So it's like from the 90s, I think. And then
cool.
aside from that, I checked out Hulu. It's a show called Lincoln Rhyme from the Bone Collector. And it was also based on a series of books. Wasn't a bad start to a little TV show there.
Wow, you've been all over the place, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, but Reprisal is basically, I'm knee deep in that. So
I'm going to have to put that in my queue now.
oh, it's trashy fun.
Oh, great. Great deal. I, over the holiday week, since I mentioned my top 10 movies I remember, on the last episode, I wasn't able to do any movie reviews. So, this week, I've got 3 quick movie reviews that I watched over the holiday break. We talked about The Rise of Skywalker already. So, I wanted to briefly talk about the 3 others I watched. The first is called Little Women, which got a Rotten Tomatoes score of 95% critics, 92 audience. You know, I'm not a fan of this movie, but it was well put together. It was a period piece back in the 1800s after the Civil War, and the premise was about, all about the relationships between all these sisters in the same house. And I didn't read the book. I'm sure my wife did. And as you can probably tell from the tone of my voice, this was not my kind of movie. But I was reluctantly outvoted on this one. My parents were with us, and my wife, of course, was dead set on seeing it. So for me, it's a C-, dog. It's just not that kind of movie for me. Just not my thing. But my wife and maybe your wife and significant other might want to see it. If they do want to see it, I'll warn you now, grab lots of popcorn. You're going to be needing it. The next movie I saw was Adam Sandler's dive into his first dramatic acting role, playing a hustler running a backdoor diamond ring. It was called Uncut Gems. And let's just say Martin Scorsese was an executive producer on this film, so you know what that leads to, right? Someone's going to get clipped. I think of this film as a gangster movie kind of on an acid trip. It's really hard to explain. There was like a what the fuck moment, to me, not mince words here, at the end, as it was very confusing at the beginning. Overall, I was still immersed, the tension was there, that someone was going to get hurt or killed or whatnot. And it was a very tense movie to watch. 92% certified fresh from critics. But the audience, I think, got this right at 51%. It's an odd film, and it has a crazy mob movie undertone. I give this one a C- as well, maybe a C. if I'm in a good mood. But maybe this might be a movie you want to stream at home once it's gone from theaters, which it will be soon. And finally, I saw the movie Bombshell. This was had an all-star cast of all kinds of women celebrities in the news industry. It was about the Roger Ailes scandal with Fox News.
Yeah.
Overall, of the three, this was the best one. It was fast-paced. The story was laid out chronologically of how the events happened, and it builds up to how everything unravels at the end. And in the wake of all the abused women along the way. It opened my eyes, really, to the plight of women in the news media industry and probably in business altogether. I felt happy Roger Ailes was exposed, and I think this is what set off the Me Too movement, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I think this is what started it all off. And I know it sounds more like a movie for women, but it was certainly not. I think it was a must-see. It was a 67% from critics, 84% from the audience, and I think the audience wins this one. On this one again, I give it a B+. I would see it again if it was, on a streaming service at home. Very well put together movie, very good stories, and all of that. So, hey, let's switch over and talk about what we've been gaming this week. Cam, why don't you start out? What have you been doing in the gaming world?
So there was a new game that came out pretty recently, or at least got released on Steam recently. I think it was on the Epic Store before, but it's a roguelike called Hades. It's based in kind of like that Greek mythology era with all the gods interacting with you. It's a really interesting and fun game to play. It's another action game, top down. There's a few different weapons that you can use. You get permanent progression in between runs, which is a really cool feature that not a lot of games do. Games like Dead Cells or Rogue Legacy do that pretty well. But
who made that by chance? That sounds familiar.
Hades. Believe it's Supergiant Games, and so they're the ones that made Bastion and Transistor and Higher, I think.
Okay.
They're a really solid games company. Or development team.
Transistor, is that a new rock band or something?
It's they always have great art, great voice acting, and I think this is by far their best game in terms of gameplay and replayability.
Very cool.
Other than that, I played some Risk of Rain with my dad last night. We just got one run in, I think, but that's another roguelike, but it's a shooter.
It's fun.
It's a
fun game.
It's a pretty cool game.
What happens, Hazel, is the intensity of the. You know how you usually pick a difficulty when you play a game. This one actually ramps up. The more you play, the longer you last. It's a shooter, and the more you destroy stuff and bosses going from map to map, the intensity of the game and the difficulty actually levels up. You kind of have a bar that keeps moving, and as it moves along, it goes from like what's it go from, Cam? Goes from like
so it goes from like baby mode pretty much to like where the game's laughing at you because how hard the game is or how much more they ramp it up.
The final two difficulty levels are where we see you or we're watching you, and then the last one it just says and it's just crazy. But we actually got through. We beat the game. We got through all the worlds and all the levels. I think it took about a good hour plus.
Yeah, it was about an hour. My dad insisted on the easy mode, so that's pretty much the only reason we beat it.
Okay.
It's a pretty tough game. It's a pretty tough game when you play it at
don't give Hazel
difficulty.
any more ammunition than he already has.
Old man Gatr can't keep up with the son.
Oh,
let it be known.
Oh boy,
I like this kid. I like him.
Yeah, I bet you do. Is that it, Cam? Is that everything for you this week? I mean, you play a lot of games compared to what I do.
Only other game that I've been playing is
well, we played some
Team Fight Tactics out of the League of Legends client. It's like auto chess.
Oh, yeah.
Just a really fun game to just chill out and relax and play.
We played Gambit. We played Gambit this week. 2 of us. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did play Gambit. Yeah, Destiny 2 was pretty solid. We played some Gambit, and
we didn't have a lot of time.
We did some Reckoning afterwards as well.
We tried to do some Reckoning.
Yeah, we couldn't get past the medium mode, but that's just because I'm not too good at Destiny.
No, it wasn't that. It was just the 2 other people we had didn't know what the hell they were doing. I think they were from China, too. They had Chinese names above their name, and I was like, okay, we can't communicate with them, so, okay. Good luck. But what about you, Hazel? What'd you do this week?
Well, I finished my second playthrough for Fallen Order.
Nice.
Upon request from the wife. So,
did she watch you play it?
Yeah, she wanted to see the ending of it. So I got to the ending.
I miss those days.
Yeah, this is I think the second time it's ever happened. The first time was Fallout 3, I think.
Really?
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, is that Liam Neeson?" And then immediately,
there you go.
It's like, I'll watch that. So, but yeah, she loved the ending of Fallen Order. She's like, "How come that can happen, but you're still like, you still suck?" And for those of you that have beaten it, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm just like, well, it's because of this. So
I like your wife already.
Yeah, she's priceless.
Oh man!
But I am taking bids. No. So aside from that, thanks, Cam. I appreciate the sympathy laugh. But so I'm still testing out the PS4 Pro. Just I re-downloaded Uncharted 4 and I started that over.
What's your opinion of the Pro? I mean, I know your regular PS4 died. Do you see a difference in how everything games, or is it kind of the same?
I do see a difference, but really, to me, if you give me the money, and if I had it all to do over again, I'd probably still go with the Pro because I have a 4K TV now.
Oh, okay.
But really, I mean, you don't need a Pro.
Well, I'll just be honest. I'll fill you in. It's not true 4K. It upscales it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it tricks your eyes because, I mean, let's face it, you can only see so clear on a TV. After that, the pixels get so close together, I mean, I don't think you can tell much difference.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing that I noticed is that I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and for real, all I did was crouch down and just look at the wind blowing through like the reeds and things like this and the grass and everything. And I was just like, holy shit, this is amazing. And for real, I just watched it for like 5 minutes, just watching that.
It's a beautiful game. It's a gorgeous game. Oh, but you gotta hack the animals, man. It's really cool. It's a cool mechanic in the game. I played it almost to the end.
What the hell are you talking about? I obviously haven't made it that far where I'm hacking animals.
Oh, dude, you actually hack animals. You can turn them where they're on your team. It's really cool. You got to keep playing it. Just keep playing it, man. I'm telling you.
The rabbits and shit?
No, you'll see.
Oh, okay. I guess you're talking about like the actual like machines that are out walking around like the
horses
and shit.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
Okay.
And it gets I think there's a question asked in our Discord this week about games and stuff, and I'll bring that up later. But that it?
And then aside from that, I've actually put more time into an old ass game called Prototype 2, and Bloodborne. So.
Oh God!
Yeah, Prototype 2 is like
Bloodborne's great.
Yeah, yep. But yeah, Prototype 2 is a game sort of like GTA 5 and just GTA in general, where you get to run around as like a mutant going around like killing people and absorbing them and becoming them and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, man?
I have decided I'm going for my savior title on my Exterminator account. This is my Guardian Downcast clan account, and it's just it doesn't have this account doesn't have a title yet, so I figured, you know what, let's go for it and get the savior title. In fact, I just got the Devil's Ruin sidearm before we even got on tonight. It was such an easy thing. I think we have a question about that as well, but I just got that done. So I'm working on the Ritual Gambit shotgun right now. I'm almost done with that. Then next will be the Crucible line rifle. That's going to be fun. And then I got to do the Legend sundials and some more sundial. I've kind of stayed away from sundials, but I've been working on. I got all of my all my obelisk all ranked up to 11, so I'm getting all the benefits. My season pass, I was just looking at this. I'm at 115 on my season pass, season
Holy
rank.
hell.
So I've got 92 is the number you're trying to get past, because that's when you get special perks, and you actually can get an extra perk on your guns that you get from your gun bounties from the obelisk.
Mm-hmm.
It actually has an alternative perk you can use. Like, it'll have Vorpal Weapon, or you can choose that, or Rampage, just as an example. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I gotta admit, it's a lot of fun farming weapons this season. I'm really liking this season better than last season. There's more tangible stuff to do in the world, and there's more stuff to work on it, at least in my opinion. But well, hey. Good deal. Looks like we've all been pretty busy this week. Let's move on to our main discussion right after this. Okay, for our main discussion tonight, I think a majority of us, I can say, that listen to this podcast are probably pretty hardcore Destiny 2 players. And I figured, you know what? Since I have my son on tonight, and he's kind of, I think he started out as one of the free-to-play players, and then he got I think he got the season pass, is doing the season pass bars and all that. I figured, you know what better thing? We've talked in the past about the criticisms of Bungie. With 30 and Still Gaming, he was a little critical of Destiny, but man, he had some really great ideas, and I really hope Bungie implements those ideas in the future. And then we talked with Lana about some of the things we liked about Destiny 1 compared to Destiny 2 last week. So why not talk about, maybe through the perspective of a new player, what they actually think about Destiny 2? And no peer pressure from me, but Cam, let me ask you this. You said you played a lot more Destiny 1 than Destiny 2. Tell us about your experience as a free-to-play player. Like day one, I think you and Quinn jumped in free-to-play right off the bat.
Yep.
What was your overall experience? Can you kind of elaborate on it?
So when we first got the game for free to play, it takes you to, you have that introduction quest, and then it takes you over to Earth, or the EDZ, and we just kind of stayed there for like the first 2 hours, I think, just doing bounties and like the large events that happen on the map. And so we just kind of explored Earth for a little bit, and eventually we kind of got a little bit bored with that, and we went back to the tower, and Quinn found Amanda Holiday, I think,
right?
The lady with the ships, and she had some quests for us, which ended up being the old content from Destiny 1, I believe.
Oh, yeah, the campaigns. I think it was I think it was all the expansions from the first year of Destiny 2. And the original campaign. It's
like the Red Keep, I think, something like that.
No, Red Keep is that's Shadow Keep. I think you're talking about like Gaul, when the Cabal took over. See, I don't think you played this yet. So this is what I would think you'd want to play if you want to learn more about the Destiny 2 story. But I think you were telling me it was kind of weird how you bumped into it, how it wasn't really guided. You didn't have any guide on what to do next, or wasn't that what you were saying?
I'm sure Quinn and I are just a little dumb. Quinn's my friend, but we just stumbled upon Amanda Holiday. We didn't really know what to do next at that point, and so we just did that, the campaign quest for maybe a couple hours, and then eventually when we came back to the game the few days after that, we pretty much just stuck to Crucible. I think we did a few strikes with you, a few quests for some new weapons with you.
Well, let me ask you this: since you mentioned the Crucible, how do you think it compares to Destiny 1? I know you played some Crucible in Destiny 1. Do you think it's better, worse, the same? What little bit you played? And I think we played a lot of Crucible together. I mean, I have my opinions, but I'm curious what you have to think about it.
In general, so I played Destiny 1 on the PlayStation 4, and so, or maybe it's the PlayStation 3. It was one of those two. But I've played Destiny 2 exclusively on the computer, and so that alone made my experience feel a lot better. Just because whenever I play shooters, I prefer to use a mouse and keyboard. I just kind of adapted to it over time, and so just being able to have that option, it made the game feel a lot smoother. The movement is obviously a really strong point with Crucible and Destiny 2 in general. So we had a solid amount of fun with Crucible, but I'd say it being on the PC for me was probably the big differentiation for me between Destiny 1 and 2. Just looked nicer, felt a little bit smoother. Destiny 1, I think we had a little bit more gun customization. And so we would find some guns and really make them our own or find good variants of the guns that we like. Whereas in Destiny 2, I feel like most of the guns that I used were pretty viable. And so nowadays I pretty much just run Risk Runner on a Titan with the arc grenades so I can proc Risk Runner. I've just stuck with that for the last few months that I've played in Crucible, and so I don't know. It's a little hard for me to differentiate, but I'd say Destiny 2 overall felt better for me, or better to me.
Okay, you said Destiny 2 felt better.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a little tough to know exactly why, since I think the biggest difference from PlayStation 4 and PC was just like how the game looks and how it kind of felt to play.
Yeah. So in the other games that you play outside of Destiny, do you play PvP on those at all?
There are a few games that I play PvP in. Like League of Legends, that's almost exclusively player versus player. Did a lot of PvP in World of Warcraft back when I played. Did some PvP in RuneScape back when I played. Those are obviously very different games. But it's a game called Battle Right, which is pretty much like an arena action game, and that one's PvP as well. So I definitely play against other players pretty frequently, but I don't know how many of them are very similar to Destiny 2.
Okay. Well, is there anything in there in those other games that you play that you'd like to see in Destiny 2? Or that you think that Destiny 2 needs?
As a new player, I'm speaking as someone that's not extraordinarily experienced with the game. I have maybe like 50 hours in it overall. Something that I really like from my games is at least something that I haven't noticed in Destiny 2 is a bit more control over your talents and like what abilities you want to use, kind of being able to craft your play style around how you want to play. And so Destiny 2, you just you go into your trees and you pick like what kind of shield you want. I'm playing as a Titan. What kind of grenade you want, what kind of jump you want, and then it's like you get to pick 3 archetypes pretty much.
Yeah, that was that was the one difference that I really hated in Destiny 2 versus Destiny 1 is Destiny 1, you could custom craft. I mean, if you were a Void Walker, which I was a lot, you could custom craft every part of your tree. You had different choices to make along the way, and you could put some really unique builds together depending on your play style. They kind of dumbed that down in Destiny 2, if you remember, Hazel, when Destiny 2 Year 1 came out. It was like, well, we've already picked it all for you. You just pick this path and boom, there you go. There's all your abilities. And I did not like that. And so you're saying you're wanting more RPG-like feel to it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just there's already so many ways to customize your character in Destiny 2 with all the different armor pieces, and you can consistently upgrade their light so you can keep that same look that you like. You can apply paints or shaders to them.
Yeah, and Armor 2.0 is brand new. That just came out in Shadowkeep. That's just the year 2 of Destiny 2 is when they finally started giving you options and you could build certain builds and you're looking for stats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just started doing that. It was all fixed before that. Yeah. So it was very one-dimensional on the first year of Destiny 2.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why that they changed it, though, according to them, is because they didn't want people to have to watch a Datto video into figuring out, like, what's the best DPS that you can do. Like, what build, do I need to run this slot, and this slot to get the best DPS, or they get the fastest grenade, or something like that.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, I'm thinking more, I always think Crucible. Because when it comes to PvE, like 30 and Still Gaming said, if you have an overpowered setup, it's not like the NPCs are going to go to Bungie and go and tattle it that we're too strong and we need to get nerfed. I thought that was hilarious when he said that. But with I always think PvE minded when I'm thinking about builds. And obviously there's different builds for doing the maximum DPS on bosses. And I think what will change your mind, Cam, and I'm hoping one day we can do this, is you've never run a raid in Destiny. Did you run a raid in Destiny 1?
I don't think so.
You've never run a raid. That is really the best part of Destiny is their raids.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Hazel? It's like the best content.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes the game honestly worth it.
I mean, it's like the pinnacle of everything you do in Destiny is to the raid. So maybe, throwing a shout out to Sen and Kingsley, maybe we can do a virgin run on a raid one day. Throwing it out there to our awesome raid guides out there that have an awesome community. I know it's hard to put raids together anymore because we're all working parents and, it's really tough to schedule out, 2 to 4 hours to play something. But maybe we could play an easier raid like a Leviathan or something just to get your feet wet and see what you think of it.
Yeah, exactly. And the mechanics, I think that, Cam, you'd really like the mechanics of it because it's, it gives you something to figure out.
And if you don't work as a team, you all fail.
It sounds a lot like raids in other MMORPGs, so like World of Warcraft.
I don't know, man. The artwork in these raids are just so beautiful.
Well, I'm talking about like the necessity for teamwork and planning out like different procedures for what to do when the boss does this or boss does that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Making sure everyone's on the same page.
That's the thing. Luke Smith actually came, I believe, from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, he was
he played a lot of it. Maybe.
No. What was his title? He had this title. He was the something. He was Well, he did do that. I've already talked to Cam about that. But he was something.
Sorry,
he was something king. And he talked about this moment when he did it. It opened up this whole world to everybody in the whole community. It was so cool when he was describing it. He was a scarab lord. Does that sound familiar, Cam, for World of Warcraft?
That sounds like it's something from like the 40-man raids back in the day.
Yeah. He's old school World of Warcraft, but he was a scarab lord, and it was supposedly a very super rare title or thing to accomplish in the game. And he was like one of the first or one of the very few to do it. And
no, he wasn't. It wasn't actually part of WoW. He was he just played WoW. He was a writer for EGM back in the day.
That's right. Well, let me ask you this, Cam. We were playing Gambit the other night. What do you think of that game type?
I think Gambit's a really interesting take. There are some games where they have, like Gears of War, I think, they have like a horde mode. Or maybe like zombies, but that doesn't really apply too well. Where it's you and a team versus a bunch of monsters, and usually it's just kill all of them, get to the next round, kill all of them, get to the next round. It gets progressively harder. Destiny definitely went down a different route with this one, and I think implementing the PvP or the PvP elements of it, where you can jump through the portal and attack the other teammate or the other team and try to slow down their progression on the big bad dude.
It reminds me of Puzzle Fighter. Do you remember that game?
Like Street Fighter, except you drop puzzles, or it's like Tetris meets Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know. I'm talking out my ass. Like my son mentioned, I stick at one game, and I really don't broaden my horizons. Now, I will say this, you sons of guns. I'm playing The Last of Us remastered. I've had it. I've had it on PS4, my PS4 Pro for gosh knows. I think I bought it for $20 on the PlayStation Store, and I'm going to start playing it. I'm going to start broadening my horizons. That's one of my resolutions this year. Is I'm going to expand my gaming palette a little bit. I know it's hard to believe.
Wow, you're not going to know what to do with yourself with a complete story.
I know. I'll just call me Easy, right? Easy's gone crazy, man. He's playing all kinds of stuff.
No, he's only playing one game. He's playing Death Stranding. That's all he's been doing.
He rolled credits on Death Stranding. Think how hard that is.
Yeah.
So,
well, I really want to play it now after seeing his review
I bought
for it.
I was on sale at Christmas. I was like, that's all I needed to hear, Easy. I'm buying it. Now, do I get into it? I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But sorry,
it's a commitment for sure.
It got me off on a tangent. But I don't know. I'm a big Hideo fan, of course. Back to playing Metal Gear Solid in the day. I love his storylines. I think he's a very I don't know if I would say genius, but he's a very unusual and very interesting game designer, and I like what he's put out so far. And I couldn't pass it up. It may be a while before I play it, but it's in my library now. So. Well, let me ask you this, Cam, not to get off on a tangent here. Let's stay on topic. What do you think of this new Battle Bar Season Pass bar thing? Do you think that's a good thing they've added, or since Destiny 1 and first year Destiny 2?
So from how the free-to-play worked previously, where they were at a serious disadvantage to the pay-to-play players.
Yeah.
I think they needed something like this to kind of encourage a bit more. I mean, first of all, it works well with the free-to-play kind of style of game, where the free-to-play players, they still get something out of it.
Yeah.
But they could be getting so much more if they paid for it. And you get, like, don't you get faster progression on the bar if you pay for it as well?
I'm not sure. This year they added modifiers this year on the bar. I'm sorry, this season on the bar, like as you rank up your bar, you get an XP boost, so you're ranking up even faster. I think I'm at 30-something% now on mine, if I remember correctly. But there's also a bunch of other perks that open up, like playing with a group, you get so much % more XP. Or you get, like, one of them is you get a better drop. You get a one of the seasonal sniper rifles will drop more in Crucible, have more likely to drop in Crucible. That was one of them I saw. And, of course, level 92 is where it actually drops with an optional weapon mod, or not mod, but it creates a tree on your weapon where you can choose between like on your last mod or your last slot on the weapon. You have a choice, like I mentioned earlier. Like you can have Vorpal weapon, which is a new perk they just put out this year or this season, where you actually do more damage to bosses and guardians that are in their super in Crucible. And if you don't like to do that, then you can switch it over to Rampage or auto reload or whatever perks they usually put in that last slot. But I was just curious.
I think overall it's a good system to give free-to-play and pay-to-play players just a constant sense of progression.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not sure if the rewards are super great when you get super far down the tree or down the season pass bar.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I think having that progression, that consistent ability to progress, is a major reason why people will keep on coming back to a game.
In Bungie's defense, they're very new to this battle bar, the season pass bar. So they're probably tweaking rewards to see what people are going to actually put the time in to get. So
I think, especially for the free-to-play style of game.
Yeah. It's definitely more sparse for the free-to-play. That's for sure.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, now I'm definitely interested in Cam's opinion of this, but
I'll be
Gatr,
quiet.
and I'll throw this out there, and then we can think about it, and we can move on with the show, and then we can answer it later because I'm doing the hot take kind of thing.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw this or not, but Bungie was talking about, hey, never rule out the possibility of a TV show or movie. So therefore, would you want a TV show or a movie of Destiny? And if so, what would you like to see it be about?
So I think they could probably pull something off. I think it'd have to be pretty stylized, so the visuals would probably have to be really nice. Not sure what I would have it about. What are some of your guys' favorite kind of story arcs, or maybe the most adaptable to a movie?
Well, the Battle of Six Fronts. I mean, there's a lot of lore in this game.
Yeah,
Maybe,
well, that's the thing. Yeah, there's a lot of lore, but nobody has ever seen it.
That's true, unless you read it out of a book like I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a weapon description or an armor description.
I think if they have a good team behind it, they could probably do a pretty solid job with it. But I could also see it being a bit of a stinker.
Well, let's just say video game movies haven't, aside from The Witcher, of course, have not done well in the past. In fact, I think I just heard the other day that they were trying to make a movie on the Uncharted series, and they've lost their third director now.
I think sixth director.
Six.
Overall.
Wow. Even worse than I thought. So that tells me that they probably don't have a good story. The director doesn't like the way it's going. He probably sees that it's not going to be a great movie and just bails. And these are really popular directors. Mm-hmm. These are very highbrow.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit more to it in regard to that piece there, regarding that movie, just because you're waiting on fucking Tom Holland's ass to finish doing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's right. That's true.
I mean, if he's going to be, fucking Tom Holland, so you figure he's going to have some sort of relatively big part in this movie.
Yeah.
So everything is on hold until he gets his Spider-Man oats sowed or whatever is going on with him.
Yeah, and that sucks. I to answer your question, Hazel, I think yes, they could pull it off, but they're gonna have to have some major money behind it because Destiny is a very, very what's the word? It's a very high fantasy game, and if they try to go low dollar and cheap on the movie, on the special effects, and just make it like a bad, a usual bad sci-fi movie that was made for TV or something, I think it would flop badly. I think if they can, they've got tons of story content, Hazel. They've got tons of lore. They got tons of each character they could develop. It's just like Disney right now with the Star Wars franchise. There's so many characters they can pull out, like what they did with Solo. And I'm still sticking to my guns. Solo was a solid movie. Ron Howard did a great job on that movie. Despite what anybody says it's a bad movie, I don't think so. But they could do the same kind of thing. Have maybe a main Destiny movie explaining the whole, kind of outline, kind of just lay out give out the lay of the land on how the story is put together. And then they could branch off into other episodes, say if it was like for Netflix or something. And they could develop, and they do this a lot on these types of movies. They actually break off and do special character development in each episode. So they do a lot more of that now, which I love.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe what they could do is do like a TV show, like 6 or 8 episodes a season, and do like each season covers a different thing. Like maybe the Battle of Six Fronts, maybe Lord Shaxx one season, just something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my thought. And then
I think,
bonus. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the reason why The Witcher and like Game of Thrones, why they did so well, and even why the Marvel superhero movies are doing so well, it's because they have a big base of lore and already existing story that they can draw from. Mm-hmm. So if Destiny has a lot of lore like that, they could probably pull it off. I think my dad's right. They would have to put a lot of money behind it, though.
Yeah, they would.
And I think they would really need to find the right team for it. But
let's think about this. Not to interrupt, Cam. The Witcher has more player count right now than it did when the game originally came out because of this movie. Think what that could do for Destiny. If you actually had a Netflix series called Destiny or something to that effect, and talk about, a big battle scene, maybe a big $high battle scene at the beginning in the first episode, and how evil, maybe even the story of Gaul, you can go there. I mean, they could pull out, Destiny is not thin when it comes to story. Regardless of what people say, there's a lot of story, a lot of elements in Destiny that if you're a hardcore Destiny player like I am, over Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, there's a lot to draw from there. And if they had like a big battle at the beginning or a big development, and of course there'd have to be a real dramatic plot twist where the good guys are shut down, they lose their light or whatever, and then talks about them starting to build up build up the races and band together to fight the evil or whatever they may be out there. And then break off once things settle down a little bit, then break off and talk about Shaxx. Break off and talk about Ikora. I'd love to hear a story about Ikora. She sounds fascinating. She sounds like a badass with a shotgun. I wouldn't want to cross her. Warlocks, period. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Cheat, but yeah.
Oh, whatever. No, don't talk about the cheat codes.
But here's something though. I think that the one thing that Destiny suffers from is that there is no big bad.
Not yet.
Yeah, the game's been out for fucking 5 years.
Yeah, and Gaul was a baddie, but then just like that, he's gone.
Yeah,
it was a little too clean how he disappeared. But keep in mind too, Destiny 2 this game started out as a corporate game, but they wanted to appeal to kids, adults, in-betweeners. They wanted to broaden that net and hit everybody with it, and I just think that hurt them. I think they needed to narrow down who they're trying to target in this game instead of trying to be a Fortnite. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, but I just think though that that's the one thing that it suffers from is that there's no overarching big bad that you're like, oh hey, this is the guy that we're fighting. This is why we're fighting them. It's just this vague description of the darkness. We don't really know what that is. I hope it comes to light. I really do. Maybe I don't know. Nice joke.
Oh yeah, I just did that, didn't I? I didn't even do it on purpose. Oh, I meant to do that. Yeah. All right. Hey, great conversations, guys. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to add?
I think we covered a lot of bases.
Good deal. That was a good conversation. Let's move on. Let's talk about This Week at Bungie. It's not a giant twab, but Hazel, what do we got, brother?
Yep. In the effort of size doesn't matter, we've got this twab. So, all right. So, for those of you that don't know, there is a short-ass quest for a new weapon that I affectionately call Two Guns Humping. And... doesn't it look like that?
It does. It does. It's an awesome weapon, though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And that is called the Devil's Ruin. Now, I personally don't have it just yet. I'm planning on hopping on after we get done here, running the sundial, running the mission, and then done, basically. So, spoiler alert there. If, you don't know about the quest and don't want to know, sorry.
There's been a lot of podcasts talking about it. And I'll just tell you, I just did it before the show tonight. It took literally about 35 minutes to do totally. So it's probably one of the easiest exotic quests that we've ever done. And I kind of like it. I get tired of grinding these things all the time. It was nice to have that change. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nice. No, you're good. You're good. Hey, Cam, are you going to go for that, do you think? The Devil's Ruin? If you've got 35 minutes to spare.
Yeah, I don't know if I can allot that kind of time to get an exotic. Yeah, I'll probably, if my dad helps me out with it, I'll definitely be getting it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a single person thing, by the way. But I can help you get to the point where you can get it.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna cry, you guys. All right, moving on. Keep it clean. Okay, and I really want to make an inappropriate joke, and discretion being the better part of valor there. I haven't had enough to drink. So, anyway, Bungie is implementing some new information here regarding bans. And I believe, Gatr, you had something you wanted to say about this.
Well, I play a lot on Steam, and Steam seems to be a little less, I should say, regimented as far as cheaters. People who, and I've had a couple games where I played in Crucible where people will teleport, you can't even shoot them, and then they just boom, they land and hit you, and you're dead. It's very frustrating. And no, they're just putting some new functionality, some new anti-cheat functionality into it, which just supposedly detects players a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. And it used to be there was no appeal process, and I will just speak from experience. I was one of the unfortunate individuals that when first starting on PC through Blizzard, their anti-cheat picked up on the fact that I was using overlays in my capture software, and they did an IP ban on me. There was nothing, I could not play Destiny on anything I had connected to this internet. It was very, think about it. I mean, that's the game I play. I was depressed. And like a lot of people at that time, they went to the forums and bitched and moaned, and I was one of them. And I think they said, okay, just that's your only warning. That's it. Because so many people got banned. And now I make sure you do not use overlays when you're capturing any video or anything. Definitely display capture only. Just a little public service announcement there. But no, what they're saying is that in the past, a trained Bungie employee would actually look before they imposed a ban, and I guess they're streamlining it where they can catch people a little faster. Let's face it, it's all about staying ahead of the hacker, trying to stay ahead of what they're doing. And what they basically have done here is they're making it a little bit harder for people to get back in. And I guess more details will be, will roll out later as they implement this, which I believe they're going to implement this next week. So they say to continue to use the in-game reporting. It's not going to automatically ban people, but if they have evidence and they need to corroborate the evidence, they're going to look at the reports that players have submitted, and if that's in conjunction with proof that they already have, that's just going to strengthen their resolve to make sure they ban that person.
Shouldn't it go the other way, though?
What do you mean?
Like, if I report you for being a cheating bastard, Gatr, I'm you specifically because...
Oh, I'm so going to clip that. I'm so going to clip that.
So, if I report you...
Yep.
Shouldn't that be, like, step one into having Bungie, like, look at you?
I think what they're looking at is, because there's a lot of trolls out there, and let's just face it, they're going to ruin it for a lot of people as far as that system. But I think they're looking for a pattern. I mean, like that teleporting game, I think everybody in the lobby reported that guy. So that's what they're probably looking for, is something where the whole lobby reported on this dude that was teleporting everywhere. And I've never seen this before. But I tell you, I really hope, and I know there's rumors that Trials is going to be coming up in the next season. I really hope it does. But I am so terrified of the DDoS, the DDoSing. And I really hope Bungie has some way of finding, or, some kind of in-game indicator of foul play there. Because there's so many really good streamers out there that were just so debilitated because they got DDoS so many. I'd watch a streamer play in the days, like year one of Destiny when it was Trials of Trials of the Nine, and this streamer finally had to invest in a VPN because he was getting DDoS several times a day, and that's just got to be debilitating. You get DDoS, and I've gotten DDoS before. It shuts down everything in your house, and it doesn't let go of it right away. It's not where you unplug it and plug your thing back in and you're good. No, it's still sending that denial of service to your router and your modem, and it really debilitates you for a good period of time. So I really feel for people who get DDoS out there. Not to get off on a tangent here, but what they're saying basically in a nutshell is they've got some detection mechanics they're putting into the game that's going to improve this. And I really think the reason they're mentioning this, Hazel, I think they're laying the groundwork right now for Trials. I think they said, you know what, before Trials comes out, everyone's going to be complaining about, well, everyone's just going to cheat, especially on Steam. I think they're putting this out here now because I think when the next season rolls around or whenever Trials is implemented, maybe it's that Imperium Foundation, maybe that sets it up. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. I think I think that's the reason they're laying this out right now is say, listen, we know you're worried about cheaters and DDoSers, and we're putting stuff in place that's going to help that. Of course, everyone says, well, just put dedicated servers in, then you don't have to worry about it. Well, there can still be cheaters, still cheaters out there, even on dedicated servers, but maybe they can pick up on it faster. Maybe there's some way they can pick it up on faster if it's their own servers instead of peer-to-peer. I still can't believe in this day and age we're still on peer-to-peer connections, but don't get me started there. But no, that was it. That was all I want to mention.
Yeah, I think you said about why they're doing it is because of Trials. I think you might be right there. But just to be skeptical, Hazelnut, I think that part of it is because a couple months ago, Cammy Cakes dropped a video about a guy cheating, and it was like he was like shotgunning from like across the map. He was just doing shit like that, and then I think Mtesh, he like threw out a video a couple weeks ago about it too.
Yeah,
and it's just like these little things that are going on.
Yep, there's a dog.
Yep, hey Beagle.
On cue.
Yeah, exactly. And then she laid back down. She got up to do that, and then laid back down.
It's our trademark of our show now. People are gonna expect that every show now.
Yep. I'm just glad I don't hear her snoring right here.
No, we can't hear it.
But yeah, I think it's partly that. So it's the peer pressure from like, YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. That's also urging this along.
Yeah, you chase away your streamers and your higher level players. Eventually, you're going to kill the game.
Yeah.
Because when I watch a streamer play, it makes me want to go play the game. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No.
Tangent's done.
Yeah. So aside from that, next is helping Australia, Starlight, Starbright. So with this, Bungie is developing a T-shirt, and it's going to come with a emblem as well. And for that, it's going to basically half the proceeds are going to go to a foundation called Wires, which is for wildlife rescue. And then the other half is going to go to the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. So
very nice.
Yeah,
I'll be supporting that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It makes me feel good that Bungie does shit like this.
I like it too. I agree.
Yep. So aside from that, just a note here about the infamous. I don't know if anybody saw this, but the 4-hammer Riven clear that there was
from Glad. Yeah, I remember. I heard about it. I didn't see it.
An error. Yeah. Yeah, but you can use 4 hammers to kill Riven, raid boss.
I think that's error.
I thought it was error.
Oh, I guess we're gonna find out.
Whatever.
Sorry.
I'm sure he listens.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Doing some hot fixes on the 14th, and that is pretty much all we got.
Cool. Well, I just heard I just got news from Bungie today. Kingsley was mentioning a build for the Warlock, and let me see if I can pull it up here. It was in our Discord, and I thought I'd might have mentioned it because it was just fresh. It's hot off the presses.
Is this the bullshit?
This is the one. This is the one where. Give me 1 sec. I'll find it here. Destiny news. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna read it viburnum. I'm gonna read it verbatim. It says, due to an issue with the Winter's Guile exotic gauntlets where the Warlord's Sigil perk remains increased melee damage after it is intended timer cooldown, the Armor 1.0 and 2.0 versions have been disabled until a fix can be deployed at a later time. Sorry, Kingsley. Looks like they're, I know you mentioned that last week. I guess Bungie was listening because they just clipped it.
Yeah, that's what Error said in his video. Actually, was that basically what they're doing is like anything, like any of the perks that like had a timer on them, that if you switched off of them and switched back to them, it didn't get rid of the timer, basically. So
Got you.
So yeah, so
Cool.
take full advantage while you can.
Oh, I think it's already been disabled. It's too late. As of this show, they're mentioned that it's already been disabled. That's one thing I like about Destiny. If there's something not working, Lord knows my Teleso's been shut down a couple times now. It's irritating as hell. But yeah. Well, was that it? Is that everything for this week?
And that is it. Yes, aka warlocks are now neutered as much as titans are.
Oh God. All right. Let's unfortunately let's move on. All right, boys and girls, I'm rubbing my fingers together. It's time for those Twitter and Discord questions. This is where our community sends or tweets us questions, and we try not to get embarrassed along the way. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of embarrassment tonight. We'll see, I guess. Hazel, why don't you kick it off, man? You pull up the first one here.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like a therapy session for you and your son.
Oh, Lord.
All right. First question we're going to go with here. Question for the doctor. Was your dad strict whilst you were growing up, and was he generous with his money, more importantly? Uncle Scumdeath.
So I'd say he was pretty generous with his money. In terms of like, if there was something that I was passionate about, he would try. I mean, it's not like he's bankrolling me, where I'm like, "Hey, pops, I want a drum set. Go give me one." But he would definitely kind of help fuel my passions. So did that for me and my sister pretty well.
Very cool.
And then what was the first part of the question? Was he strict growing up?
Yeah.
I like to think of my dad and I as pretty similar. I'd say we're both pretty laid back. Obviously, if I was doing anything stupid, I'd get a little talking to, little few yells here and there. But I mean, I think that's just part of being a parent sometimes.
Nice.
I don't think it's too strict. I think it's pretty laid back in general.
Yeah, we're very much alike. We're both kind of quiet people. You'd never think that from me, but I was when I was his age, I was very quiet too. I was very quiet, kind of more introverted, I guess you could say. But even he's breaking out of his shell now, doing the MMA and stuff. So I'm just going to get this one out of the way. Good old Admiral Nips. Question for Son of Gatr. Does it bother you that he rigs the speed run, or are you proud of his initiative?
Well, I only got 10, so
He didn't rig it that well.
yeah. He definitely didn't rig it too well for me.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
I gotta say, I'm not too proud of him right now. Now, when it comes to rigging those questions,
I didn't rig them.
He could have done a little bit better.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Oh boy.
All right. Question 2 from Uncle Scumdeath for DrScoobertDoo. Can you tell us something that you did when you were younger that your dad still doesn't know? You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to.
So I saw this a little bit earlier when Uncle Scumdeath posted it, and I had a pretty hard time kind of thinking of a good answer.
Good answer.
But I would say when I was a kid with my friends, we pretty much like broke a few fences in the neighborhood. So instead of having to walk to each other's houses, we had like a tunnel through the fences.
Oh.
So we would either like scale a fence, or we would like either dig a hole underneath or break a few like rotted boards away. And it was like a tunnel through people's yards to get to each other's houses, which was just super stupid. Like really dumb in general, and probably could have gotten in trouble for that. But somehow we got away with it.
Nice.
As Johnny Carson would say, I did not know that. Yeah, I think we answered the other one too about telling my wife that I wanted Call of Duty Modern Warfare for Christmas. Now I'm just finding that out tonight. Jeez. Got one from Joe.
I gotta finesse my way for those. If I want an M game, I gotta finesse it. So
That's all right. We've all done that before, I think. I've got one from Jughead. Actually, I got a couple from Jughead here. First one is how old were you when you realized you could beat your dad at video games?
let's say probably when we were playing Twisted Metal.
Yeah, that was a great game.
My dad's got some, he's a solid video game driver. I'll give him that. But he doesn't have that killer instinct. He sits back. He tries to play it safe. And so once I realized I just had to tap into that high octane gameplay, add a little aggression, a little spice to it. That's when I realized I could outpace my dad in any video game.
I see.
Nice. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing when I play him in PvP. He doesn't have that killer in.
Wow. Wow. All I can say is wow. Well, he also asked, Jughead, do you ever call your dad Toddles? I know the answer to this.
I don't, but that's a pretty good name. Maybe I'll adopt that one.
Oh, Lord.
This is so much fun. All right. Question from Guru. What is the worst punishment you received as a kid from Gatr? And what did you do?
So probably the worst one that I remember isn't even that bad. I was born pretty thick, got a pretty large butt, and so at a certain point when I was a kid, spankings were just nothing to me. I could walk through a spanking like it was nothing, and so they stopped doing that at a pretty young age. But when I got to like my teens, I'd say like verbal punishments would hurt the most. And so probably the worst one that I remember was I think I yelled at my mom, and just classic teen stuff, just being disrespectful and stuff. And I think I might have made her cry. It was felt terrible about it. But then my dad came into my room and he just yelled at me, just dropped a few F-bombs, just yelled at me, and it felt awful. I felt terrible afterwards, but like you kind of need to when you're being a little ass to your mom.
What you don't realize is your dad felt bad too about doing it.
Yeah,
I think we reconciled later about that.
Yeah, and like even me, like yelling at my dogs is hard. So I get that for sure.
Let's see. Okay, this one's from Sketchy Gatorbot. This is the other Gator in our community. Have you ever been playing games with your dad and thought, how did you get this far in the game? Because he's so old. LOL.
I've never thought that because I know the answer to it, and it's because I'm carrying him. And so whenever we get far in a game,
wow.
Like last night when we beat Risk of Rain, oh man,
you were doing a lot of DPS. You were doing a lot of DPS in the boss. I'll give you that.
Don't even get me started.
I was doing ad clear. I was keeping everybody off you.
Going like 4 miles per hour in a timed video game that gets harder as time goes on.
I was working on areas at a time. Oh Lord.
This is amazing.
Oh God. This is such I'm so yeah, okay. Yeah. This is good.
All right. So, one of the questions that I have here from Hazelnut, is it true that you're his favorite? Dr. Scoobert-Doo?
So it's tough to evaluate, but
Wait a minute. Where's this question? I don't see this question anywhere.
Oh, it was one that was messaged to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
it's pretty tough to tell. But I'd say in general, my mom is a lot more, or my sister is a lot more like my mom, and I'm a lot more like my dad.
Very true.
And I think during our childhood, I probably gravitated a little bit more to doing stuff with my dad, just like throwing a baseball or watching a movie or watching him play video games, especially. And so I think we all know the answer to that one.
Good answer, son. Good answer.
All right. And I have one more question, but I'm going to ask that a little bit later.
Okay. Well, I'll ask the next one then. This was from Uncle Scumdeath. Boy, he putting some really good questions in here. I think he just throws them in as he thinks of them. Great job.
I miss this guy and his
Yeah,
questions.
well, just to let you know, he is going to be in one of our future episodes. Spoiler alert. This one's from Uncle Scumdeath, and he says, what's the hardest game you've ever played, and did you ever complete it? Good question.
There's a few especially difficult games that I've played or tried to play. So, like I Want to Be the Boshi it's like a game made for Twitch pretty much, where they made it as just a extraordinarily difficult game. And people would try to get as far as they could in it, but it was just it's made to be like brutally difficult. So I didn't get too far in that, but I'd say that's probably the hardest game I've ever played. The hardest game that I've played that I've beaten, and I don't even find them too difficult, but the Dark Souls games, I they can definitely be very challenging at times, but that's just part of the gameplay is figuring it out over time, learning patterns and stuff. And so I'd say probably like the most traditionally difficult game is probably one of the Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you, Gatr?
I would say for me, Horizon Zero Dawn, because it was more of a melee type game, and it had a hack mechanic where you could hack these animals. Everything was robotic, and I missed one part. I had to get one phase of the story. I had to jump up and get something, and I missed that part. I went around it, I guess, on the map, and then for some reason that part of the map closed up as I progressed in the story, and I could not go back to that area to get whatever artifact or what I was supposed to get. So unfortunately I got very far in the game. It was a lot of fun. It was very hard. You know, you had to, it was new to me because I like shooters, but I had a great time playing it, but I could not finish it because of that aspect. I couldn't go back, and there was no way I was going to play over again. There's no way I was starting that story is so long in that game. Yeah. I mean,
like 98% sure that he definitely could have gone back and completed it, but it's just it just didn't click.
Yeah.
I promise you that the game was not bugged out. He just
I'm sure it wasn't.
Couldn't figure it out. He's like,
You know what's funny?
I don't know what's going on at this point.
You know what's funny is I found out about it on a YouTube video. I was just perusing something about something in the game I wanted to try to figure out how to do. And then it talked about that part of it. I was like, damn, I never got that part. I need that part. And it was crucial to the story because at the end you put these pieces together. Yeah, that was the hardest game for me. I mean, you know, as far as current day. What about you, Hazel?
So for me, I'm going to go a little different route for hard. And for me, I would say Warframe, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And it wasn't because of the combat. The combat was, you know, painfully easy and everything else. For me, it was all the other systems. It was like, you know, crafting a gun and trying to, I mean, you get these cards that were mods and random shit like this. I'm like, what the hell do I do? And I'm like, this one's broken. I'm like, okay, I can't really use it. But then I can like meld it with another card. And it was just beyond me. I did not have the brain power to figure it out. I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to Destiny. It's easier and less taxing on me mentally.
I could see that because I was looking at the progression in that game. It is deep.
Yeah, I really want to play it though. I really do. I mean, because it was so satisfying to fire an arrow at somebody and see him sticking into a wall.
Nice.
But I mean, besides that, it was just like, it's all right.
All right, you take the next one, Hazel.
Okay. We'll go with Flip.
Okay.
If you had to fight a celebrity, who would it be?
I would love to fight a celebrity. Just because I just love sparring. That's my favorite part. But Kevin Spacey's been pretty creepy recently.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could drop him with a mean body shot or something. Give me old Mr. Frank Underwood. I'll kill him with kindness.
Jeez. I would say my celebrity would be Ryan Reynolds in the Green. I think he played in the Green Lantern. He's kind of a weakly looking superhero, I think.
Very astute observation.
I think I could take him.
It's funny. I thought that he was in the Green Hornet for some reason.
No, I don't think so. I think you got your facts mixed up there.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
For me, again, I'm gonna go a different direction with this. I'm gonna go with somebody that I know would kick the living shit out of me, and I'd want to fight The Rock.
I thought about The Rock. As soon as that question was answered, there's no way I'm messing with that dude.
I know. I just think it would be fun just to get punched one good time by him and just like have to,
and then wake up the next day.
In a hospital. Yeah, going like, what the fuck?
Oh my
but
god.
Yeah, at least I'd get on like TMZ for like 5 minutes.
True. The Rock takes this guy's head off.
Hopefully that wouldn't happen.
Well, that ties into the next question. I've never had. This is from Uncle Scumdeath again. I've never had a fight in my life. Have you ever had a fight, and did you win? Well, I think Cameron can answer that one.
So
Ouch.
I have not won the one actual fight that I've had, but in terms of like fights in the gym, which don't happen too often, yeah, I've dropped a few people, but like nothing too bad. I'd say no. I did not win my fight. I got my leg snapped in half.
Well, that was an official fight, yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing on the playground. Nothing on the playground or anything as a kid.
Neighbors got into a fight with me once, and I think I just punched him in the stomach, and it just ended there.
No.
I'll throw it to you, Hazel. What about you?
I got into 2 fights when I was growing up. One of them was this little fucking asshole of a kid, and he was in the same grade as me and everything else. Kept picking on me, stuff like that. Well, then he went to kick me in the ass one day. Like, he got a running start. I don't know how I did it, but I turned around, caught his foot, and then punched him right in the fucking jaw.
Nice.
And like, his parents got called, my parents got called, all that good stuff, and nothing ever happened with any of it. And they were like, well, I think everybody learned a lesson here. And then the second fight, it did not go so well for me. A guy actually sent my top 2 teeth through my lip.
Oh.
And then through the little area underneath your lip there. Yeah, I still have the scar. That's what you get for fighting a high schooler when you're not a high schooler.
Yeah, that won't work out too well usually.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. That's. I think we all learned another lesson there too, yeah. Or at least I did. Gatr?
I have been in 2 fights in my life. One I would say was a draw, and the other I got my ass kicked. The first one I'll mention, I was in middle school. I was, I think I was in 7th grade. I was like a freshman or whatever they call it now. I don't know. And I was waiting for my mom to pick me up after school, and there was this big dude who was on the football team, and I knew him. And I was just looking at him, just because I was admiring. I was like, dude, this guy's huge. He's got muscle and, he must have been having a bad day or maybe he was just a psychotic person. But he says, what are you looking at? I was like, nothing. I'm looking fine. Then he came up to me and says, what are you looking at? And he just started wailing on me for no reason. And I just protected myself, and I think someone tore him off of me. And I was just a little kid then, it was 7th grade. And the one that was a draw, I was in 5th grade. I was in, it was a pod. I don't know if you guys have these up north, but it was like a pod school where all the classrooms are like in a big circular, like an open classroom. And there was this one kid named Sweeney that was always the bully. He was bullying everybody all the time. Just a total asshole, And I was just a nobody. I was just a little kid, in 5th grade. And I was like, and I think he came to me one day and said something. And I said, I think I maybe pushed him or hit him on the shoulder or something. And all of a sudden, I'm involved in a fight after school in the parking lot. And I mean, you've seen these movies where you're looking at the clock all day going, oh shit, what the hell did I just get myself into? Well, long story short, we went out to the parking lot and the whole school, it seemed, was circled around us. And there weren't any adults in sight. It was way out in the parking lot. This kid, just to let you know, this kid was big. He was a fat little tubby little kid. And I was not. I was pretty skinny when I was young. And I took my best shot. I punched him right in the stomach. He laughed and hit me, and that was it. I was down for the count. So I guess I got a shot in at least, but I was never one to fight after that. I had my fill. So
where was the draw?
Well, I considered it a draw because, I got my shot in. He got his shot in, but I guess I lost. I've never been the one that would aggressively go after people. I never liked doing that stuff. I was a very empathetic kid, I guess. I didn't want people to do stuff to me that I would want, done to me to do to them. So, all right, that's enough of that. You see another one there? Do you like, Hazel?
Yeah, I do. One from Uncle Scumdeath. Do you like doing jigsaw puzzles? I've just bought Iron Maiden Live After Death jigsaw puzzle for the missus for Christmas. Finish it and frame it. And it just went away, so I don't know what the hell the last word was, but I think it said awesome or something like that.
Yeah, he said awesome.
All right, then.
So I haven't done a puzzle in quite a while, like maybe 3 or 4 years at this point. But I think they're like a great little meditative thing to do. I think it's a good way to kind of slow down the brain and just relax and just put together a little picture.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, my daughter is all about puzzles right now. So yeah, we do them maybe like once a week, if that. So yeah, more.
Never been a puzzle guy. I'd get a puzzle for Christmas and I'd throw it on the ground. I was not impressed with puzzles. Just never got into them. I don't know why. I don't know. I can see how it's very therapeutic, but nope, not me. I've got one here from me. I got actually a couple here from Easy I wanted to mention. He's had some real good insights. He's been really busy playing other games other than Destiny lately. He says, all right, I'll start with this one. So 2020 looks to be a polarizing year for gaming. New Xbox and PS5, Cyberpunk, Fantasy, at least that's Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Halo Infinite, the Stadia, xCloud, the new VR tech. What are you most excited for? What do you think, Cam?
So I'm not one to really watch a lot of like game expos or promo videos for games. Usually I just wait until they come out and watch a video or see how the reviews are doing. But I'd probably say the one that I'm most excited for on that list, or just in general from what I can think of, would be Cyberpunk. And I think that mostly boils down to how much trust I have that CD Projekt Red will make a good game and make a game exciting and interesting, deep in its combat and story.
Mhm.
I think it'll come out really well. I know that there's a ton of hype around it, so I don't know if it'll live up to that kind of hype. But after what they did with Witcher 3 and being a small, was it? Are they Norwegian or?
They're from see, are they? I think they're from. Are they from Norway?
Poland. I think
Poland.
it's Poland.
You're right. Poland. Yep. Yeah, they definitely have a good history.
They're a small Polish company, and they made Witcher 3, which looked like it was made by like a AAA company, except had way more heart, was way more interesting. They're just one of those special companies. I think Cyberpunk will be really solid. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Hazel, what about you?
In regard to gaming, I'm most excited probably for Last of Us 2. It's one of those things. It's like I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm not looking forward to it because of how grim that world is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to seeing some more beautiful things and more, so hopefully surprisingly beautiful things like giraffes. So, yep. One on that list that I'm not excited for is Stadia.
Yeah, I think I don't know if Stadia's going to be around this summer. It's really crashing and burning. That could be another topic for another time. Let's see. For me, I'm definitely looking forward to PS5. I miss playing with my friends all the time because I play Destiny on computer, mainly on Steam, just because, I mean, the graphics and the 60 frames or 100 frames or whatever I can bounce it up to. I miss, I do go back and play on the PS4 with my buddies Warcry and Craig and Jughead and
By Torrid.
By Torrid, thank you, Ron. And I look forward to. We have some really great conversations and just a bunch of old guys shooting stuff. It reminds me of the old days when we played a lot of Call of Duty. So PS5, I'm really intrigued on what they're going to do with that new processor. And game-wise, I think it would have to be the one that's got me perked up the most interest-wise is Cyberpunk. I mean, I did not play, or I have not played yet, their latest game, The Witcher 3, but from what I've seen of it, it's futuristic, which is what I like now. It's either got to be a realistic military shooter, a modern military shooter, or futuristic tech. That's what I like. That's the kind of games I like. And Keanu Reeves. I mean, enough said. Enough said. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. One more for easy here. So Death Stranding has got me thinking about, quote, the best game I've ever played, which in turn, I am attempting to inventory all games I've played in my lifetime. I am at a 130 and counting. Do you know how many games you have played? Now, let's start with our youngest one here. Cam, what do you think? How many games do you think you played in your lifetime?
So if we're going with every console, so in my Steam library, I have 325 games. I definitely haven't played all of them. I've probably played around half. And then taking into context like the PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, the Xbox 360 games, Game Boy, DS, the Wii games, probably say around 250 games in my lifetime.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, I was born with them in my life, and it was a passion from early on. And so, I kind of just collect games on Steam. And when I'm bored, I'll just go through, try to find something I haven't looked at, and give it a play.
What about you, Hazel? You thought about this question?
Yeah, I have been trying to go through and do the math on this, and I gave up many times, actually.
I know what you mean.
Because when he was going through it, I didn't even think about it, but I was like, oh, well, my cousin had an Atari, and I was playing River Raid and Berserk and Tanks and all that stuff, and it was just like, well, shit. I'm like, if I had those in, and then I was thinking about that, and then I was like, well, also I remember playing like arcades too. So for me, I'm easily at like 300 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, like probably setting the bar low is at 300, just because I remember playing like Pac-Man with my mom on that glass top arcade table.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Good days.
Galaga. Yep.
Galaga's one of my favorite tabletop games. I got to thinking about this too, and good question, Easy, by the way.
Yeah.
I had to think about this. I had 2 shoeboxes full of Atari 2600 games. So right there, we're at an easy 50 games. Now we're talking about ColecoVision. I think I had easily 20 games there. And then we're talking about Super Nintendo, or regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Oh my God. Then we got to talk about PlayStation games. Holy moly. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then soon to be 5 here. I would say conservatively, probably in the 300 range. I'd have to agree with what you said, Hazel. Quite a few. I mean, just like I said, I've been gaming all my life. I don't kid around when I say that. I've gamed all since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. I've been gaming. I mean, that's when video games first came out when I was that age. So I kind of sorry, Easy. I kind of had a head start on you, buddy. But Hazel, that's impressive, man. 300 for you too. That's really good. And I mean, I would have to say, Cam, I got to put an asterisk by your name, because back when me and Hazel played games, we had to go buy the games physically at a store. And whether it was games,
I would rent them. I mean, I could rent them from like.
You know what I mean, though. You'd have to get a physical game. You didn't have digital copies back then.
Oh yeah.
I had to go to Sears and wait in line to get the new Pac-Man game. And I mean, we've done midnight releases too, Cam, where we've waited in line at GameStop to get the new modern, or the new Call of Duty games back in the day too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Good question, Easy. Let's see. We're at about 30 minutes. Let's pick a couple more here, Hazel.
All right. So I've got, I think, 3 that are like one of them is a surprise one. Another is one from Drafty that he messaged me about a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
For Cam, what's it like to call Gatr Dad?
Oh God.
One of my gamer tags when I was on the PlayStation 3 was Son of a Camper.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that name.
So, I love my pops.
Oh, wait a minute now. Hold on now. I had a gamer tag called Father. What was it? Father of a... Oh, shit. Damn it.
Father of a professional major league gamer.
No, I don't think it was that. It was like... I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I broke your train of thought.
I don't know. I love my pops. How's it feel to call him Dad? Feels pretty good.
Good answer.
Aww.
Good answer.
All right. One question here from Uncle Scumdeath, kind of going off of what we were talking about before. Which new console will you purchase first? Xbox Series X or PS5 if theoretically they were released on the same day?
I would probably end up getting a PlayStation 5. I haven't really looked at the game list, like the exclusive games that they'll have on release. But I think PlayStation probably has a higher chance of getting like another Bloodborne-esque game.
Yeah.
So I'm all on board for that.
Yeah, I saw some weird article. I don't know where the hell it came from, but it said that don't expect an Xbox Series X exclusive the first year.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't understand how the hell that would even happen.
With all the studios they own now.
Well, yeah, exactly. For me, I would say PlayStation 5.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I'm really, like I said, I'm really intrigued on what it's going to... If it gets a very similar graphics to PC, I'm going to be very split on what to play. Because I love my PC, but I love all my friends on PS4 also. So...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll finish. Was that your surprise one's done?
No, I've got another. I've got
All
one more surprise.
I'll let you finish. So I'll do the second to last one then. Okay, this is from Chubby Wizard. He says, "What do you guys think of the new exotic quest for what's called Devil's Ruin? I think it was perfect. The gun is not OP, so the level of difficulty equals the reward. I also think the dialogue between the three of the biggest characters in the game was awesome." Yeah, in fact, I went ahead and got this before the show. I heard it only took about a half an hour to do, and because of that question, Chubby Wizard. So thanks for asking it. I thought it was very good. It was very brief, very short. But, you know, like I told Hazel and Cam earlier, I was kind of glad I didn't have to grind and kill 500 things, you know? And what's really weird is once you... Well, I'm not going to spoil that, but once you do this mechanic on this map, and it's like a PvP map, all three of these characters chime in at different times of the time you're there, and it is hilarious. The dialogue between the three of them is hilarious. I haven't played with the gun yet. I mean, I just got it before the show, but I cannot wait to use it. I was listening to Massive Breakdown podcast, and one of the hosts there was saying how he uses a rental, and how this game fits his play style so well. If that's the case, Mercules, sorry. If this is the case, I cannot wait to use this in the Crucible. It sounds like going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I agree, Chubby Wizard. I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was a very good quest, very quick to the point. I did have to play a full round of Sundial to get the quest. So that is, and I thought I had to play a legendary one, a legend one, which means you have to get your fire team together. So I was a little apprehensive, and that's the reason I didn't get it yet. But then I think Kingsley Mack told me that no, you can just play or might have been Skull told me you can just play a regular one and you'll get the quest. And sure enough, I did. So thanks, appreciate the question. All right, Hazel, you got the last one.
All right. So this was a question messaged to me from Admiral Nips.
Oh, of course.
All right. This one goes like this. This is one of those questions I wish someone would ask my dad, smiley face. So here it goes. Gatr, what's the thing that your son has done that's made you the most proud?
Oh, wow. Where do I start? Great question. I've always been very proud of my son. He's kind of has the same personality as I do. He's very quiet to himself, but it seems like he was my firstborn. My daughter's was second, and not to get too emotional here, but when you have your firstborn, you don't want to break him. You know, you're coddling him. You're trying to go behind him. And this is maybe a message to all the dads out there. You're wanting to follow behind him and make sure he makes the right decisions. And I have to admit, I'm the most proud of him because he's made the right decisions in his life. He's made very good decisions. And these were unprompted from us. I mean, he he followed my footsteps. He played in a band in high school. He played trombone. And we went to all the games and stuff. It was very fun to watch. And brought back a lot of memories from when me and my wife were both there at that very same high school, by the way. But yeah, I'm most proud of him because he had goals and he stuck with them and got them done, or going to get them done. I mean, he still has to graduate here. That'll be one of his big goals to get done. And you guys probably don't know this, but he's going to be moving back down here with his girlfriend and his dogs and his rabbit. This summer, and my daughter's moving back home for the summer. She's got an internship. She's got an internship with Universal Studios, and I'm going to have a very packed house this summer. So I don't know if I'm looking forward to that or not, but I'm just going to be excited to have my son back home for a little while at least until he gets on his feet. We're going to help him out, him and his girlfriend.
It's
out.
going to be pretty chaotic with all the dogs.
It's going to be crazy. We have 2 dogs as well. They're lab size dogs, and they have a German Shepherd, a black German Shepherd, and I think Pippa's like a Shepherd mix. Isn't that right, Kim?
Yeah. Sorry, I the call cut out for a second before that.
Oh.
Yeah, Pippa's like some weird. She's like a dingo.
Yeah.
She's weird.
They're very, they're good sized dogs. I mean, I would say they're medium large dogs. So we're going to have 4 large dogs in our house. And I don't know how I think about that because it's pretty quiet around here right now. But yeah, to answer your question, Admiral Nips, I've just been very proud of the decisions he's made in his life. And, as my firstborn, you worry so much about them that they're going to make the right decisions. And I think so far I'm very proud he's made the right decisions. So yeah, good question. All right, let's not get too sappy here. If we did not answer your question, and there's a few left, we're going to save those for next week. We never discard questions. We always answer questions that are asked, even from Dadbot. I saw your question, Dadbot. We'll answer that next week. It's a little bit more appropriate for next week, I think. Let's move on to our last part of our show. This is where we pick our 2 songs for our Spotify playlist. Just a little sprinkling of what the 3 of us here like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify, and I'll put a link, a follow link or something like that in the show notes if you want to follow us, see what songs we've been picking. And Cam, I'm going to start with you, buddy. What were your 2 songs and maybe what meaning they had to you?
So I listened to a pretty decent amount of music, decent amount of variety as well. And so both of these 2 tracks are very different from one another. The first one is No Love by Death Grips. It's like an experimental hip hop band, I guess, is how you would describe Death Grips, with like a bunch of noise elements. They're pretty intense, and this was the song that I walked out to for my fight.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
It says, like the big chorus is "Get ready for a beatdown." So it's a great song to kind of pump you up.
Cool.
The cover art is of a blurred out penis.
Oh, I remember seeing that. I was wondering what the hell that was when I looked it up on Spotify.
I thought it was Minecraft, actually.
I thought it was kind of like that, but then I get it now.
Death Grips is a really, really eccentric band, and so really like how different they are. So No Love by Death Grips was the first track, and then the second track is Nights by Frank Ocean, and I just kind of fell in love with Blonde, which is the album that it's from, over the past few years. I remember listening to it first and being like, what the hell is this? This isn't very good. And then over time, it really grew on me, and it's probably one of my favorite albums ever.
Wow.
But the Nights by Frank Ocean is, I think it's like 6 minutes or so. Really easy listening. Frank's got a really nice voice, and it switches up halfway. I don't know. It's just a really, really solid song. One of my favorites.
Good. Cool deal. Looks like good picks. I can't wait to listen to them. Hazel, what do you got?
I love Frank Ocean. I loved his Orange album. That was great.
Yeah, Orange is a great album.
Yep. For me, I went with actually 2 like random songs that I stumbled upon recently. One of them, I think my daughter was on YouTube, like on my YouTube, like clicking around on God knows how the hell she found it. But she played this one song, she liked it, so she kept playing it over and over and over again, like kids do. And it's Something About You with Rudimental from Elderbrook. And it's like a kind of like a soft little like kind of like dance number. It's just got a nice little hook to it, and it's just something you're gonna sit there and just kind of like shake your head to, like, oh yeah, okay. Cool. And then the other song is "The Whammy Girl" by Andy the Crocodile, and I stumbled upon this through Reprisal, actually. So
very
it's
nice.
A bunch of like rockabilly kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like kind of like hardcore rockabilly in a way. So
cool.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when we listen to the playlist, we usually listen to it on the way to our movies every week. I can always pick out I could always pick out Hazel's picks because they're pretty damn good songs he picks. I could tell he puts a lot of time into it. So thanks, man. I appreciate you putting the extra time in on those because they're very particular. I can't explain it. I always can pick out your songs, though. I don't know what it is. Okay, for me, my first pick is someone I saw on a news show that has had a long running on Broadway. This is David Byrne. So for tonight, I pick one of my favorites from his group of the past. It's City of Dreams from the Talking Heads. Very good song. Kind of a slower version of most of his manic songs, but one of my all-time favorites. Got me thinking about that when I saw a news story about his Broadway show that he's had running for a long time, by the way. And my second pick, this is a new song in the rock category. I was just surfing through Apple Music and I heard it the other day, and I just clicked it. It's a great new song of 2020. I don't know if you guys remember a guy named Noel Gallagher from Oasis.
Yeah.
He's from the 90s, it was a 90s group. Well, I was like, where the hell did Oasis go? Well, now I know. Noel Gallagher, which is the lead singer of Oasis, it's his group is actually called Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. He's got a new single out called Wandering Star. Man, give it a listen. It is really good. And you know what? That got me looking into his other solo songs, which he's had out since I think 2015. And man, every album I heard rocked. And it's not like not like the songs were all alike. Every song had a different theme, and they were all fantastic. So if you like Oasis or the music from Oasis in the past, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds and his new single Wandering Star. And I decided, like I talked at the top of the show with Hazel, we're going to have an honorary pick tonight. Thanks to Bytorrid for mentioning this in the Discord, because it really took me by surprise. A very, very great musician died today at the age of 67, and that is the infamous Neil Peart. Arguably the best drummer of the 20th century from the band Rush. And in honor of him, I'm going to add a song we played, Cam, on Rock Band, YYZ. So it's an instrumental, doesn't have any singing in it, but just sit back and listen to this, whether you're on a bike ride or just chilling in the car, and you will see how much talent this band really had. So
yeah, YYZ is just Neil Peart going
crazy
crazy on the drums and just doing stuff nobody else in the world could do.
I couldn't think of a better song to add. So, and sorry, Admiral Nips, sorry, Fluffy, and I think I even heard. Didn't we hear something from Distinguished Gentlemen this week on one of their biannual episodes, Hazel?
Yeah, exactly. Or no, they're not biannual. That's GSR. No, these guys are quarterly.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, we still have 6 more songs to add each, actually. So,
yeah, I think they made a crack. They got 8 picks or something tonight or something. I don't know, something like crazy like that. We love you guys. We really do. Yeah. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. A couple little housekeeping things here. I just wanted to mention again that Australia is having some really bad bushfires. I think it's been happening since October, and I think the world is just finding out about this now, or really making strides. And Hazel mentioned earlier how Bungie's even getting into the fray now and going to try to raise some money through their T-shirt campaign. Just wanted to mention the link, redcross.org/AU is the main way to donate for aid to Australia and their bushfires they have now. But I also wanted to mention that our friends with the Destiny Down Under podcast are creating or going to be starting up a fundraiser as well. And I just wanted to mention them. You can find them on Twitter at DDU_podcast if you want to find out more about it. And of course, they're on Twitch TV/Destiny Down Under. This is a class act. These guys are all class, and hopefully they listen to our little podcast here. But I just wanted to mention that for all our listeners out there to check them out. That they're our Destiny Aussies, right?
that is true. Yeah. What the hell's the name of them? I forgot the damn name of the.
Do I have to feed you names now?
For fuck! I forgot.
You talking about the members?
No, that's I mean, I know who the members are for.
Well, it's Mylan Games, it's Deranged Sloth, and Log Power Slave. All great guys. I listen to their podcasts all the time.
Yeah, but no, I was thinking of the other podcast from the Aussies with Bushman Bob.
Destiny Addicts?
Destiny Addicts, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Those guys too. They're from Australia too. Him and Synchromeshi and the other guy, Kendo Gibbo, is in Japan, or at least he was when I listened.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I will be of course I'll be involved in all these fundraisers, especially the one from Bungie. So, well, hey, good deal, guys. I think we got through a show tonight, and we didn't take 4 hours to do it, right, Hazel? Jeez.
Yeah, and I'm still awake, and I'm still sober. So
isn't that some? We can actually play some after this, maybe. I don't know. What? Unheard of, right? Hey, Cam, thanks for coming on, bud. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Good deal. Is there any thing you want to put out there as far as people, your gamer tag or maybe a Twitter or anything like that?
Not really.
Okay, fair enough.
If you want to look at anything that I do, I guess my Instagram is Cam the Jellyman.
Nice.
That's pretty much all I do. On Steam, I'm DrScoobertDoo, but I only usually play with a few select people, so I don't know if Friend of Me's going to do very much. But thanks everyone for listening, and it's a great time being here on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad you can make it. I know I've mentioned you in the past in the third person in past podcasts, and I figure, you know what? Being that someone looking at Destiny from new eyes, I think it'd be at least I thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about. So, and yeah. I liked everybody hearing your story and stuff, and I'll be happy to be embarrassed. I have no problem with the questions from Discord. Bring them at me. You can at me. Hazel, what do you got?
Hazelnut, you know it already. HAZELNT.
Nice. You can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gatr. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4. GATR, all caps, underscores in between. And Gatr space GDC on Xbox. Stop by my YouTube channel if you like. This is where I put the shameless plug in. I post gameplay vids of Destiny. I don't do any reviews or anything like that. It's strictly a gameplay video channel. I capture live gameplay when I'm streaming or when I'm playing. I'm at 92 of 100 subs right now, and my goal this year was to get to that 100 mark. So thanks of you who subbed to me this past week. I really appreciate it. It was very cool to see people band together and help me out. And I'll post a link in the show notes if you're interested. If not, I understand. No big deal. You can find us, by the way, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher. This new one called Podcast Addict. I was just looking at it on our stats. And I just wanted to mention, we are listened to in quite a few countries now. This is really awesome. I think I was talking to you earlier, Hazel. We're in Australia. We're in Germany, the UK, Norway. I think we had Saudi Arabia, some small country in Africa. I couldn't remember the name of it even. And of course, the United States and Canada, big supporters of the podcast. We appreciate everyone who listens to us.
Yes, we do.
And if there's anything you want to email at us, send it to guardiandowncast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter also at guardian_D_cast for any show questions or, like I said, whatever you want to DM us. We have a fantastic Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I'll post an invite link in the show notes if you're interested in dropping by. Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
See you, Toddles.
Have a good one, guys.
You just took Hazel's line. Stormin' Norman.
What the hell is this? He said it. Cam the Jellyman. Hey, if you got $20, man, you can throw it my way. I'll camp out.
You gotta grab the toothpaste by the balls, man.
My body is ready.
Get off my lawn, you whippersnappers!
Boom, $36 overdraft fee.
Man, I feel like a woman.
What am I gonna do with a Titan? They're damn near useless.
All right, guys, it's that time of the week. It's time for the speed run. And I don't have my script. I don't have my script. God damn it. All right.
I cried like a baby.
Well, thanks, bud. I appreciate you hanging in there and doing
no
this
problem.
things. That was really cool of you. Really cool
Thanks
of you
a
to.
lot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks again for having me on, guys.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Sorry I didn't know too much, or I didn't talk too much about the Destiny changes and all the Destiny stuff.
Well, you're a new player. I mean, that's the
You're a
reason
new
we.
player, you're coming into it fresh. So no, man. I mean, your value is important as anybody else's.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
thanks again, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Have a
Love
good one, man.
Love you, bud.
All right. Love you, pops. See you, Hazel.
See you, man.